This podcast is brought to you by Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms. With over 13,000 products from over 400 top brands, Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearms parts, shooting gear, apparel, and more. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, backed by fast shipping and an expert support team. Primary Arms, serving freedom since 2008. Find out more at frn.deals/PA. Hello and welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first rifle or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Garth Over.
How we doing, bud? Another day, another exciting topic, I think, and yeah, it's good to see you.
It is good to see you as well. So, yep, we do have a kind of exciting. Well, I don't know. Some people might find it exciting. Some people might not. I know that it's one of those things where I have probably spent a lot of money on this.
I'd say you have, yes, you have. Myself, not so much, but
yep. And this is one of those kind of becomes a necessity of it, but we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
What have you been up to in the last week or so since we did this last?
Not a lot. Been saving my money because tomorrow I start a little vacay, headed to Rapid City, South Dakota for 5 days for state darts, and gonna go out there with a couple buddies and we're gonna do a little gun shopping while we're out there. And all of them, I think, are pretty zoned in on handguns, but I am actually in the market for another 9mm AR rifle, and I'm looking a little bit more specifically into a Black Rain. Whether they have one out there or not, I don't know, but that's my goal for the weekend.
Well, that's fair enough. If you're going to be looking for that, I know that I still don't have a lot of new things to report for myself. Yeah, just some more parts here and there, and that's about it.
That happens.
Yep. Speaking of parts, I am also excited to get parts from our newest sponsor. Is VZ Grips. VZ Grips featuring unique features of their grips are they're machined from a solid block of G10. G10 is great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when it's covered with mud, blood, or sweat. The 17-degree grip angle offers a wide variety of textures from mild to extreme, and color options are also available, as well as a shorter version. From 1911s to Berettas, CZs, and more. More than 25 textures and 25 colors are available. We do have a coupon code, and the coupon code is 15% off of handgun grips and rifle grips. And that code is, of course, AR-15 podcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that VZ grip coming in the mail any day now. And I really haven't decided what AR I want to put it on yet, because I have a multitude of, well, not a multitude. I have a small selection of guns, and I'm not sure which one it's going to go on. How about that?
Yep. Well, I again won't be able to test mine for a little while, but I think when I do, it's probably going to go on that 9mm AR that I have in the works.
Yeah, it's pretty much where I'm thinking it's going to go. Either the new 9 that I buy, or it might go on my everyday pickup gun, that double star that I purchased, or we had a little trade deal back.
And I'll be interested to see if I get to keep my 9AR after I get it built.
Why?
Oh, I have a feeling someone in my house might steal that from me.
Oh, well, that could happen, I suppose. Yeah, that could happen.
Yep, but no. Other than that, with getting into some of the cool things that we talk about, a lot of times we talk about new guns and barrels and things like the grips and things of that nature. There is one thing that we've never really talked about.
Okay.
And it can be incredibly important.
Yeah, it can be.
Because we've talked about optics.
We have.
We've talked about barrels.
We have.
I mean, we haven't really got into like M-Lock and key mod but we did that a little bit on the modularity and
Well,
some
because
of those.
there's only one. It's called M-Lock.
Yes, or pick rail, We'll go M-Lock or pick rail.
Okay.
I just no key mud here,
No.
but um, no. In going through that, there is another thing that a lot of people overlook, and that is rifle cases.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've owned 2 cases my entire life. So again, like you said, you are a little bit more versed in this category, but I will definitely throw my opinion in here and there.
So I look at this a couple different ways. Having cases, and having the different obviously styles of cases, because there are several.
Hmm.
There, you can put the expandable gun socks on your rifle to just keep it from getting banged up in a pickup.
Yep.
There are the old zipper nylon cases that a lot of people grew up having shotguns or hunting rifles in, something like that.
I actually
I
just won one this weekend.
Yep, I have a leather, like a solid leather
Mm.
one that's not a rifle scabbard. This is a solid leather like rifle sock. It's
Wow.
really thin leather. It's from the 70s. It's weird. And
Right on.
yeah, it's just one of those. Yep, that was a thing they did back then. And uh, then you move up into some of the stuff that they slap the name tactical on. It's
Mm.
you have the tactical rifle case, which generally has some pockets on the outside for things like magazines, and those might have a slope. A lot of times, you'll see them a little bit cheaper in that like $50 range, and then it goes up to that's not saying that nylon cases are cheap. That's just one option. And a lot of times you'll find those cheaper, more economical. I know that, like you were talking, Black Rain. Black Rain ships their rifles with a soft case like that.
Yeah. So does some Rugers as well. So
Yep, it's you know Rock River ships some of their rifles in a hard plastic case that's formed to that gun, and then there's also the $20 like gun shop special plastic case with a little bit of egg crate foam like they used to put on top of mattresses.
yeah.
Uh, you can go through all of those. Then you can keep going up to the what I consider the gold standard is the Pelican cases,
Hmm.
and there's a couple different varieties of those, but you know a lot of people know what that you know ultimate cool guy Pelican cases, and that's not even the most expensive case I'm going to recommend today.
No, no, there are. I mean, I know there are more expensive ones. I've reached my limit at the Pelican.
The most expensive case I would recommend is actually all nylon and not a hard case.
Okay.
And we could start there, but the reason for it is I will share the link with you to show this. So this is a very unique problem set because it is from Voodoo Tactical, and it is the 3-gun competition weapons case.
Oh, sure.
So the reason why this one is kind of special, or costs a little bit more, is it is so long. The internal dimensions of this particular case are 56 inches.
Yeah, that's a long case.
But the reason for that is so you can fit a shotgun with a mag extension.
That makes sense.
So like my 13 my my 3-gun shotgun that's a 13 plus 1 extension
Yep.
is 54 and a half inches long.
There you go.
So I could put it in there without having to take it apart. which, if you were driving somewhere, would be great.
Yeah, no, that's anytime you don't have to assemble a gun on the range is a good day.
Yeah, that is always kind of handy. Now, when we were going through talking about, that was just the first gun that we talked about. There's a lot of things to look at as to what it is that you need or want in a gun case.
Well, no, that's just it. Like you said, you have that case from the 70s, and you think back 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and the guns back then just were not equipped with all the modularity of today's weapons. And so the sock sleeves and the leather sleeves were really all you needed. I mean, you didn't want to beat up your guns. You wanted to keep them safe and not secure by any means, but just keep them safe from getting beat up and around the cab and everything. That was it. Well, actually, I mean, if we're going to go back to the 70s, we're just going to go right straight back to the old back window rack, because everyone had one back in the day, and that was the true first gun case, if you will.
Well, or we could argue the saddle scabbards, even,
Oh,
'cause
absolutely. Yep.
I do still have one or two of those laying around as well. But no, it's the going back and forth on them. So, granted, the position in which you and I both find ourselves a lot of time,
Mm.
uh, cases are not really something that we think about a lot.
No, it's that's why I said I've only had two in my entire life, and and that's the reason I no longer have my Pelican case, is because I didn't need it. I mean, even for transporting, I didn't feel that I needed to throw down my guns in a safe and secure case. I'm not one to fly, which I think we should talk about a little bit later. But um, when I travel with my guns, I think the farthest I'm going is 30 miles, and usually the backseat of my pickup is good enough for me.
Yep, and that is, one of those things where you, living in an area that is rather gun friendly
Mm,
or things of that nature. There are people who might be listening to this who live in, apartments
yeah.
and in cities where even carrying out that Pelican case
Yep.
is a bad deal.
Yeah. It draws enough attention because it just screams tactical. It
Yep. I
screams
mean,
rooftop shooter.
there are there are people who make a living doing the or building, the guitar case gun cases,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's about being discreet and carrying things that, okay, yep, so we know this is a firearm or we know this isn't. So there is that little bit of, discretion. I know that, I could show you Vertex makes a compute, a sling bag they call it, that's made to specifically to carry a rifle.
Yeah.
And then, it's, oh, this could be everything. But those are some stuff where, I've people will take their ARs apart and stuff them in gym bags if they don't want them to be seen. But the vast majority of people will just use a case. Just a
No, you reminded me. I went, just a quick side. So I went into Runnings the other day and took a shotgun in just to maybe see if I could trade it. And so I didn't have a case, and so I just wrapped my coat around the gun and walked in the store and laid it on the counter, and I inspected it and went, you know what, we're just not going to be able to give you the money you want for it. I said, well, okay, I'll wrap it back up in my coat. And the manager of the store looked at me and goes, hey, this is Pier. Just carry it out. No one cares. I went, oh, that's fine. I was just doing it for you guys because I know, I mean, corporate might get on me a little bit about that, but no. So he said, yeah, just carry that gun out. Just put it on your shoulder, walk out of the store. And you know what? Not one person said a dang word to me. They just, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, the guy's got a gun. You loaded? No, okay. All right, no, whatever.
Yeah,
So
again,
again,
that's,
just where we live, yeah.
a little different. It's there are places where that definitely wouldn't happen. I
Oh
know
no.
that there's places that have some rather, impressive storage laws and transport laws that you have to have. And again, that's knowing the area that you live in and knowing those things.
Well, even going
Because,
3 hours to Rapid or Sioux Falls, those laws changed drastically.
well, not as much. The state preempts all that, but it's more what is socially acceptable.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's fair.
Because there are certain places where you can't just throw your AR in your pickup.
Yeah. No, that's 100% true.
You have to have it in a case, and having it in a case, that's why you'll see guys who do have just that cheap case that it came with, the nylon one that they just take it to the range, and
Hmm.
there is nothing at all wrong with that. They put their
No.
3 or 4 megs in it, and that's what they run with. I have several bags.
A few.
W- one of my favorites is actually a soft case that has backpack straps on it,
Hmm.
and turns into a shooting mat
Oh, nice.
when you fold it out into 3 places, and then it'll be a shooting match, and I will carry that when I'm shooting long range because I have a nice spot to lay down then,
Yeah,
or
and
shooting.
that's a really nice add-on.
Yep, and that's just one of those where I bought that case oh over 10 years ago, and have just been kind of using it ever since, and it's just a solid case. I don't even remember the brand of it. I just know it's sitting in the basement by my filing cabinet.
No, I was looking around my gun room here to see if I could find one of my cases. It must be in the other room there. But I have a couple $60 Amazon special nylon tactical bags. They're called Savior bags or Savior equipment. And yeah, I mean it's not meant to be, but I mean I could definitely stretch it out and use it as a shooting mat if I needed to and such. And the amount of magazines you can get in there, and you can also, I mean, it came with a divider, so I could get 2 guns in there if I do wish, and it does the trick.
Yep. While we talk about that quick, I'm going to talk about my least favorite gun cases, and those are the $11 to $20 plano plastics.
With the egg crates,
Yes.
yes, I hate those. I despise those.
Well, I understand they do have a purpose, and there are
Hmm.
people who thoroughly think they're great.
Yeah.
Um, I have a collection of them in my garage, mainly from people shipping them to me or shipping guns to customers, and then the customer being like, "I don't want that," and now suddenly it's my problem.
Yeah.
But I have used them for things like Cerakote practice, and
They served a purpose.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that and the soft-sided. Well, one thing I am going to say as a disclaimer for anything with a case: cases are meant for transporting your rifle. They are not meant for storing it,
No.
because the fastest way to get major rust damage on a firearm is to leave it in a case, especially after you've used it. I will see it commonly. Well, it wasn't rusty when I put it in the case, and it's somebody has their gun and they put it in the soft case and they zip it up and they stick it in the corner of the coat closet
Mm.
because then it's safe and it's out of the way. And then they pull it out the next time and they go, "How did this thing rust? This finish is just a pile of crap." Well, it's because you enclosed it in something that holds moisture.
Well,
And
to piggyback on what you're saying, I think cases also represent a fast track way to get your weapons stolen, especially in vehicles, because
if you
people
leave them,
just, yeah.
yep, and that's one of those where they're made to be used to transport it to and from and carry it in and out of the house. Don't leave them laying in the vehicle or anything like that.
Yeah.
I
Anyone might see a case and go, I don't know what's in there, but I bet it's something valuable. So it's coming with me.
Yep. Uh, Now I again say I don't have a lot of the nylon cases.
Mm.
I have a couple, I think, still laying around somewhere, but I run what I consider the gold standard of cases personally,
Yeah.
and that is the Pelican 1750.
They're sharp. I like them, especially because you can cut out the foam to fit your rifle exactly how you would like it laid in there, which is nice. It is a nice feature.
Yep, they do have the pluck and peel foam that you can cut out, or if you know someone who has a laser,
Mm.
they can actually laser cut the the foam out for you. And this case right here is the one that I'm talking about. If you're not joining us, it's the Pelican 1750. It is the Pelican case that kind of everyone thinks of when they think of, oh, a Pelican rifle case.
Hmm.
It's the 4 inch or so thick. You know, there's 3 pieces of foam in it, and you cut the center one out or pluck the center one out so you can have it. It comes in black, green, or desert tan, and has wheels on one end with 2 handles and 4 padlock hasps.
Yeah, that's exactly the one I had. And I don't know if you had someone with a laser cut yours out, but I plucked mine out, and on the backside, it looked like a 5-year-old did it.
I did not have someone laser cut mine because I've had it for way longer than knowing any of my friends who have lasers.
Fair.
And no, I plucked mine out. Actually, I didn't even pluck mine out. I threw a rifle down on it
Mhm.
and drew a crude Sharpie line and then attacked it with a hot knife.
Well, there you go. That'd have been smart. I used a cool one. Man, maybe one of my mistakes.
Yeah, well, and it's not really a recommended thing to
Well,
do it the way I did it. So when I say hot knife, it's made for cutting twine off of a baler.
I mean, that stuff is kind of flammable still.
Yeah, but no, a hot knife will cut right through it. They make a hot knife just for cutting that foam.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Don't make anything.
yeah, no, I don't, but
Well, I didn't say you. I said they.
yeah, and but so I have used that Pelican case for a lot of years now, and I've flown with it several times.
Hmm.
It's kind of gone all over the country with me. I've taken it on road trips. I've had rifles and silencers and everything packed into it. I have another one that's very similar. That is my second favorite rifle case. Well, my second favorite rifle case is actually a Cabela's branded one. And when I teach handgun classes, it's the case that I pack all my handguns into.
Right
And
on.
I know that you've seen me carrying that around, and
I have. I have.
that one is actually supposed to be for an AR, like for an M4 style AR, and I use it as a glorified handgun case.
Backing it up just a little bit to what you just said about flying. Why don't you? I mean, I think we've talked about it before, but why don't you explain to the guys out there listening what it is to fly with a case and gun and just how easy it is? Because I've always had this like irrational fear. If I ever flew with a gun, I would never see the gun again. So,
Yep. So, like, I've flown to Texas hog hunting. I've flown to classes. I've flown. I just almost every time I fly with at least a handgun.
mhm.
And the difference between flying with a long gun and a handgun is a handgun case. A lot of times you can fit in your luggage. So you check a bag and go, okay, this is my bag, and you have your handgun in it.
Mhm.
And they go, okay, yep. And then your bag goes through, and then you just pick up your bag at baggage claim whenever you get to wherever you're going. And that's where you have your handgun.
Do you have to have a case in the luggage, or is it okay if it's just in the luggage
Oh
itself?
no, you have to have it in a hard case.
Okay.
If you were going to fly with a firearm, it has to be in a hard case.
Okay.
So that is one of those things where, nope, if you're gonna fly with a firearm, it has to be in a hard case.
And the ammunition has to be separate.
Ish.
Ish. Okay. It's easier probably just to buy ammunition wherever you're going.
No.
No.
So the last time I flew to a class, let's see, would have been the end of July of last year.
Hmm.
and I flew to Colorado, and I have I have the bag I checked right beside me because I just used a backpack, and I threw a quite literal ammo can full of ammo.
Hmm.
I think I took 800 rounds of 5.56 and 800 rounds of 9mm with me, and I flew with my large Pelican 1750 case that had my rifle in it, and a lot of times it depends upon the airline that you fly on.
Hmm.
Is flying United or American or something like that? It's, oh no, you can have 3 firearms in that one case. It's just as long as that is locked up. So okay, I had my pistol for class, which was all Gucci'd out with its light and red dot and stuff like that. I had my
Hmm.
concealed carry handgun, which has a red dot and all that. But and then my my rifle I was using for class, and then mags for everything inside the case. And where that gets weird is some airlines
Hmm.
will allow you to fly with you can't have magazines in the firearms, but
Yeah.
you can have them in the same case.
Okay. Yeah, that is a little weird.
And oh no, it's one of those like, oh no, you just can't have it loaded.
Yeah.
You can't fly a loaded firearm, but they'll go, no, you can have, you know, nope, this is fine. You just have you know, your your mags in the same case locked up because strangely enough, like Smith and Wesson has little snap-in, places for the mags to go.
Yeah.
Works really great for flying with them. And I was going through, and I was actually flying out of Vegas, and I went, oh, I was like, oh, this has to have a factory container to hold ammo. And the guy goes, why? You have one. And I looked down, and I was like, yeah, you can have your mags loaded. You just can't have the gun loaded. And that was perfectly fine. I've done that on at least 4 flights where my
Hmm.
mags were loaded, and that's what was holding my ammo. And then I've also flown with ammo in an ammo can that wasn't loose. It will actually, they even said that I could have flown with it loose inside the ammo can, but I had boxed ammunition inside the ammo can in my other checked bag. So I checked a bag that had my clothes for the weekend, and oh, I didn't even have that. It was pretty much just a bag of ammo.
Yeah. Bag
And,
ammo with a spare set of clothes.
yeah, and a rifle case, and then I had another small backpack that I used as a carry on, and that one had like a spare pair of underwear and socks, and a battle belt with magazine holders and or, mag holders and holsters and etc. Because I kind of grabbed the like wrong things when I packed them,
Sure.
and luckily flying out of pier, that was not an issue.
No, not for them. More than likely not.
And flying home, I just put all of everything in the other bag, and then just flew home holding my iPad to watch movies on. But no, it's really really important to have a good solid case. So when we talked about the like even with the foam and like a again we kind of keep talking about that 1750 Pelican case.
Hmm.
eh, That is what I used to fly with, and the even how you mount, or it's not, I shouldn't say mount, how you place your rifle in that can have a lot to do with why it is important to have a quality case. So the the way to place that when you have it in is even after you've plucked your foam out and stuff and have everything set it so your optic is towards that middle handle on the long side.
Okay.
Here, I'll go back to sharing the screen so
Oh,
you can
please.
see what I'm talking about, and then I will do my best to verbally describe this, and I will also explain the why. So, as this, what I'm talking about is on the long edge of these cases, they have a handle for carrying like a suitcase, for lack of a
Yep.
better term. And then up at the top, they have, another one to use when you're rolling it, like a rolling suitcase.
Hmm.
But you want to make sure and place your optic close to that handle.
Okay.
The reason for that is it's less likely to get dropped on that side.
That's fair.
Bec- Because if you have locks and your handle there, when baggage claim people are moving it,
Yeah.
that's what they're going to grab. So if you have the optic placing on the other side, then it's putting that force, even though it is in the foam, and that's where it's getting hit and beat up the most.
Yeah. Things move. So I get that. Um, just for the people at home, what is a price point on that 750 case usually?
So in our show notes, you will see I included links to them,
Perfect.
and I think I put the link up from Amazon, and that's about a $260 hard case.
So these aren't cases that are by any means going to break the bank, but I mean they do cost some money, and if you cherish the gun you own, you might want to protect it when you're traveling. So
Now, if you don't want to spend that, there is another one from Pelican that has become my second favorite case. And these are about $60 cheaper. You can find, I think I bought my Pelican 750 for right at 200 bucks on sale at Cabela's. And I know that this next case I'm going to talk about, you can find for about 200 bucks everywhere most of the time. And it is another one from Pelican, but it is their Vault case.
well, I also know a lot of guys who have Cabela's and Shields cards, and they rather rack up points quickly. So the
Yep.
case might be worth bringing home.
Yep. Well, and so this the Vault double rifle case, I will again share so you can see it, is Pelican's kind of new contender that they have put out. And I know this will look familiar to you when you look at this case.
Yep.
Because that case is also the one that I have permanent, or that is permanently affixed to my wife's roof,
Yes. Yes, it is.
and it is no longer a rifle case up there. It is full of tow ropes and things of that nature, and then locked shut. But our friend Jacob has traveled the country and flown with his, and he runs this Vault 800 case, and has no complaints about it. Everyone I know who has one has no complaints about it. It's just the cheaper, and it looks a little different. They're a little bit larger
Mm.
dimension wise than the 1750, but that is kind of because of the design. They're, I don't want to say softer, but like the plastic feels softer. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like the quite as hard as the other one.
Or rugged, maybe.
Yeah. And so having that,
It's so nice that we have one fan watching. It happens to be your wife.
but no, that those cases are, it's not that it's just a little bit different in the design. The the corners are a little bit more tapered. They're not hard, and it's just like a new, more modernistic take. I don't know if it's cheaper to injection mold that way or But no, they are a solid case. And one of the other big benefits is the Pelican cases are all waterproof.
That is a huge advantage. Absolutely.
And I know that even if you're not flying, if you're someone who's, say driving across the state to go to a match
Mm.
and you just throw it in the back of a pickup, it might be handy to have because I've also done that where, oh, hey, I didn't know it was going to rain. And, maybe we don't want to have our $1,000 optic and $3,000 rifle sitting in the rain.
Yeah. No. So watertight, I'd say, and dust. With proof, but
Oh,
relatively.
they're more or less they are.
Yeah.
Um, no, it's even with my issued one. I mean, I've traveled around the country quite a bit with that. You know, which that one didn't have any foam in it. It was just a, okay, yep, here's your case, and it had, what my M16A4 upper, a carry handle, an ACOG, and a pistol slide for a Beretta, and okay. And then when we got where we were going, we would, then break out the trailer and okay, check in our rifles and hey, yep, now everything's good to go. You guys can have your lowers back. And something about having, you know, burst lowers and just randomly. But yeah, cruising around with those things were again, that was one where we, you know, always used the Pelican cases again. I know that SKB makes one, Nebo makes one. Uh, I'm trying to remember the name of the big case I use for teaching classes, and that was when I saw it SHOT Show, and it's got four wheels on it and rolls around, and it's designed to be a four rifle case. They work really, really well, and I'd have to look at it again since it's been about 5 months since I saw it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. Okay, yep, that's the. But there are all kinds of those hard cases that have that, and protecting your investment while you're traveling is a big part of why cases are so important.
Yep. I agree.
Now, we have really been hammering on, again, Pelican cases and specifically the big cases
Mm.
because I really wish I had a picture of the inside of mine because you'd see that I have it cut out with spots for, I have a spot for my silencer. I have a spot that I for just for mags. And it's having all of those things where when I travel with it, that is just a case that's ready to go to the range. And it's
Mm-hmm.
before I leave. If I'm just taking one rifle, specifically, like if I'm going to go do precision rifle stuff, okay, I have that. I have the rifle. I have my can. I have my mags. I have you know another box of just ammunition. I have.
How many times have you taken one rifle to the range?
It happens on occasion.
Okay. All right, just checking.
It has happened.
Okay. I believe you. Mm-hmm.
Just because generally I take a few because backups are handy.
Backups are handy. It's just you get in your safe and you go, man, I haven't taken that to the range in a while. I haven't taken that to the range in a while. I haven't taken that to the range in a while.
Oh, I can tell you for sure the when I went to my last class, I took one rifle
Well, that was a different class.
because I flew
Yeah,
with a rifle.
but that was
And
also a specific class.
yeah, and
So
I knew I was going to do that, and so I took one rifle, and that was a really hard one. I thought really hard about bringing a spare rifle.
I know you changed rifles like 5 times before you finally picked one. So
Well, it wasn't that many times. It was going back and forth between like two. maybe
Oh,
3.
finally. Yeah, exactly.
Well, am I gonna take the suppressed, pistol or the the 1 to 10 Gucci gun? Like, what are we gonna do here? I had options.
You had options, but you settled on it and came away a better shooter, right?
Oh, 100%. I highly recommend taking classes from Kanaz Tactical Group.
Mm.
But so as we were talking about that, as we were getting into rather the so another one that I talked about is that Cabela's branded Extreme Light. It's a 36-inch case. So anytime you hear 36-inch case, or because they will use that to describe how long it is,
Hmm.
that is meant for like a 16-inch barrel, collapsible stock, and smaller.
Yeah.
And that's so you can collapse everything down, have that, and then have your rifle ready to go with that, or your AR pistol, or whatever it is that you have. I mean, you might have one of those dirty commie AKs and stuff one of those in there as well. But I mean, it happens.
Well, I mean, if you got an AK, I mean, just know that that thing is meant to be beat up. So, do you really need a case? Okay, yes, region, you know, pending probably, but okay.
I mean, black trash bags are cheap, but
And then what you can do is just take that right over the dump and just dump it in.
oh no, we won't throw it away because we have to show everyone that we're better than them. But no, we kid, only a little bit though.
Yeah.
But no, it's having those, that smaller one that I was talking about from Cabela's, that 36-inch case. That's $119 standard price. That's what they have for price on it. I know they also offer a long one that's not as deep
Mm.
that can fit an AR in it with no mag or anything. Just the biggest problem you have when you run into some of those, especially a lot of the older ones from the 70s, even if they were a scope case, is they don't make room for the pistol grip on the AR.
Hmm.
So you kind of have to look for these specific AR type case. Now, one other place to look to get a plethora of cases. We already talked about them. They're our sponsor,
They are.
Primary Arms. I know as I look here, they have no less than like 60 rifle cases available. And again, they go from $200 down to $60. And I mean, if you want it in Muddy Girl camo, you can get that.
Yeah, just whatever you want, your heart's desire. Although I will say, if you do get a Pelican, I don't. Well, I guess I've never asked anyone to Cerakote a Pelican case, so I'm sure it could be done. But
I find the best thing to do with a Pelican case is stickers.
well, you know who has stickers? Our friends over at PatriotPatch.co. They have every patch available in sticker form, and I am actually in the process of painting my safe and my gun cabinetry with those stickers. And so, if you are looking for something badass and tactical, I would definitely check out Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co.
Yes, because that Patch of the Month Club, they do come with a sticker for every patch of the month.
They do?
And that is one definite way to make sure that you can ID your rifle case when you go to the airport.
Absolutely.
I know that I have some stickers on some of my cases that a select group of people know what they mean and other people don't. And it's one of those things where it's like, end the oppression of Pineland and, Atropia Vet. And those come from some military war game stuff, and it's just funny to see some of the looks I get going through with some of the stickers I have on my rifle case, especially if I'm in a city like Austin, Texas, where there's a large portion of the populace that might not feel the same way I do.
Yeah, those are always the best.
And that is one where I can say that having flown with rifles several times, and I don't even get funny looks at the airport. It's, oh, okay. Of course, most of the time, people think I'm a cop or something like that.
You kind of look like a cop.
I totally not a cop.
Are you a cop? Am I a cop? He looks like a cop. I think he's a cop.
No, I don't know why that happens.
Technically, you were a cop for a day once.
More than a day.
Well, I'm talking about the riot.
Yeah.
The riot that didn't happen, where the battle never took place. You know, that town. Yeah.
But no, it's most of the time you roll through with a locked rifle case. People don't look at you weird. People don't say anything. At least I've never had a negative experience about it.
Oh, so far.
That might also be because you're the guy with a gun, but
well, I was gonna say it's because you look like a cop, but I guess in today's world that obviously doesn't go over well with most people, so or some people.
no, I was even flying into, you know, riding a bus through Denver to get to my car rental. Nobody even said boo to me about it.
Wow, that's good.
And yeah, it's never been an issue, but having a case is important because you're protecting that investment that you've already made. So personally, I'm willing to spend a little bit more money on cases, especially if I'm traveling. And it's really just not a bad idea to have a couple of them because even when you get into these, they're starting to look more and more like duffel bags and less like rifles.
Yep. I think if I was going to do it in the future, if I were ever to travel, I would have to go with a guitar case just because it's it fits my personality a little bit. So
Because here I will.
actually, I could just probably use one of my base cases and just work out just fine.
So when you get into this, like this is one of the, it's standard price at Primary Arms at $64.
Yep.
And it's just a brown case to put your rifle in. It's got some pockets on the side, and that is a great case for everything but flying.
Yeah, I would never fly with something like that. But for anything else, traveling, especially in the pickup, it's actually very similar to what I have in my pickup under the seat, and that's where one of my ARs lives. And so.
Yep. Now remember, we don't do not store guns in cases
Except for that one.
because that is how rust and bad things happen.
Well, it's not closed. It's just in there, protected.
No, that's just one of those. I can say that from the amount of them I've seen come through the shop of, hey, how'd this get rusty?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I also take mine out and clean it on the regular though too. So.
When was the last time you used it? Well, I went hunting with it, and then I shoved it in the case, and then you put it in the closet until this time.
The last time I went hunting was 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have seen all of those things happen. But no, I really don't have anything more to talk about with cases.
No, I don't either. I do recommend anyone who travels a lot to own a Pelican or any of their choice in what they want to spend on a case. I myself, again, I don't have the need because I'm a homebody and I stick around the great state of South Dakota. So, but for any of you guys living behind any enemy lines, I should say, and you do have to travel with one, a case of any sort is a good idea because
Now,
you
just
don't.
because
Yeah.
just because Garth had mentioned this,
Oh, there it is. Look at that, baby.
and
Woo!
you can get it in gray, black, or tan.
Oh man, I kind of like that tan.
And yep, it comes with the foam to cut out. It is a lockable with wheels and $200.
Hey, that's exactly the same company as the one I already have in my pickup. So
Yep,
that's
Survivor
neat.
equipment. So, well, I'll throw that into the show notes as well. Every case that we talked about tonight will be in the show notes, so make sure that you guys come check that out if you wanted to look at any of these cases. And you can go through and find them for yourself. Maybe do some Googling and see if you can't find them for cheaper than what we have them listed for. But make sure you shop at Primary Arms.
Oh, absolutely. And then go through our network affiliate link so the show AR-15 podcast can do get a little benefit out of it.
Yep. And so there you go. I just had to pull up that ultimate guitar case for you.
Oh, I probably might have to get one.
I can hear the clicking happening already.
I might have been searching it. So,
but well, I don't really have anything else. Garth, where can they find us?
Well, they can find us at AR-15 Podcast 2.0 at Instagram, AR-15 Podcast 2.0 at gmail.com. If you guys want to drop us a line, tell us what you like, what you don't like. Also, you can find us on the network where all our affiliate links are. And then you can use a couple discount codes with VZ Grips to get some great things off their website. You can also find us AR-15 Podcast on YouTube. I believe it's 2.0 on YouTube. Yeah, I think so.
Yes, you point out 2.0.
Yeah. And then Facebook AR-15 Podcast. And so, yeah, with that said, also, yeah, here's we're going to talk about this a little bit. Oh, little exciting news, yes. So we do have a Teesprings app, and you guys check it out, have some merch. We've also started a little merchandise product with a local shop here in South Dakota, and we have a link on our Facebook and Instagram page for some AR-15 hats. They are super nice, super comfortable, and we are going to get a link set up so you can pay us electronically. But for now, if you want a hat, check them out, and we can you can mail a check to myself, and we'll take care of you and get it shipped out fast to you guys. And beyond that, I think it's just happy trails until we meet again.
I'm going to answer this one question quick. There for Tice Bradford. The Apache cases, I've only looked at them, and they appear to be just I don't want to say knockoff is like a derogatory term, but a different variant of the Pelican case or the SKB. I don't know anything about them, but from what I've seen of them, they look like they would probably hold up. I just, when I bought mine, I found a screaming deal on a Pelican case and have bought those and have never looked back. But with that, I know Garth already said happy trails and until we meet again. I'm still not singing. And you guys out there, you stay safe and stay armed.